Yep. No, I mean, I'm cool with just leading off right here where we're at.
All right, well then maybe we
let me
do like
calm her down and
18 years ago, I had a birthday party and I invited this guy and a whole bunch of our friends, and we just started going four-wheeling from a birthday, and now I have 2,000 people there, and it's pretty much all I can handle. You know? I don't really want to do more than that.
just once a year though.
Just once a year. Yeah, once a year, you know, one and done. We're talking about doing a Jeep event.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, you know, because I'm a Jeep guy sometimes.
You are?
You know, in the spring, you'll have time to kind of recoup in between them too.
Yeah, you know, I can recover. It's like, what, 3 months? You know?
Yeah.
That's plenty of time. But, you know, I moonlight, you know, as an event promoter, I guess. But I just really just want to go forward with my friends.
That's it. Like, yeah, so you've been doing RBD. I can't believe it's been 18 years.
18 years.
So that's pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I started right when we started hanging out, really.
Yeah. I remember the first time that I really met you, I'd been looking at your pictures and stuff, but I met you, I guess, Fab Stock down at Blue Choice.
Oh, yeah.
I really seriously think that's the first time
Well, we were like Pirate 4x4 buddies.
Absolutely.
You know, we were internet friends.
Yeah.
Imaginary internet friends.
Yeah.
It's funny how many of us actually have names now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, yeah. What your screen name was it Wide Open Design then?
Woodley.
Woodley. Yeah. I was speeding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is the opposite of what I do. Like, I'm the grandpa, you know, can we go?
I've never heard nothing no more true.
Yeah. I don't know. But it's like the big guy being tiny.
Yeah.
You know, I was speeding.
Yeah.
So that was the.
You were downhill bike racing.
Yeah, I did do that. I was real fast down there.
I was going to say, boy, you'd set a record. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Pab Stock. And you know, that's when I got hired at Crawl Magazine.
I know that weekend's when John Herrick was down and you did your first shoot with him because you were super serious when we went to the trails. Because we left Fab Stock from working that weekend and then went back to Grey Rock, and there was how many people like signed up for a Crawl Magazine ride?
Oh yeah,
Grey Rock
it was like, I mean, Crawl Magazine was the thing then.
Oh, it was huge back then.
Yeah,
man, that was still is a great quality magazine. When you pick that magazine up, it's really quality. But that was the first. A lot of magazines have took that over now. You know, they build a quality product, but like,
you know,
man, when that come out and it was laying on the shelf besides all the other stuff, it really stood out.
Crawl was the last magazine that I actually kept a subscription to.
Yeah.
It was the last one that you just wanted to have.
You wanted to get it.
It almost would decorate your office, right? Like you wanted it to be there.
The articles were on point. It actually fed to guys like us.
Yeah. And Crawl was like at that level, especially at that year. What was that, like 2007 or so?
Somewhere like that. Yeah.
So like 2007, and it was the Tracy Jordans. It was like the top of the line.
Jason Pauly, like, Tracy Jordan, all the guys,
all the hardcore,
and all that stuff.
And that's all the magazine was, because they were all buddies, right? So it was like the who's who of magazine people and the who's who of content. Doing XRA, We Rock. You know, that was right at Hammers. Like, when was the first Hammers? 08?
09.
09? So it was before Hammers?
No, 09 was the first official year. 08 was the year they raced for the beer.
Yeah, the OG 13.
So so it wasn't even Hammers content then. It was just hardcore crawlers and.
But I remember like that magazine is the magazine that covered the OG race.
Oh yeah.
It was the one that covered all the cool stuff.
But you were the first Southern bug mashing.
Bug mash. I remember Grogan. Yeah.
Nolan Grogan toying bug mashing before rock bouncing was a thing.
Rock bouncing, that was funny on the internet.
Yeah.
Nolan said there must have been a bug underneath the gas pedal because that's just all guys want to do, just stomp the bug.
Yeah. So met you there, did Crawl Magazine, or got hired for Crawl Magazine.
Yep.
Shot your rig, a Ubicon.
Yeah.
And Pim and 8 Easy, did the trail ride thing.
Yep.
And then we've been hanging out ever since, right?
Absolutely. And then it gets blurry in the middle, but man, there's a long time of it. Well, no, I mean, not for me and you, because like whenever you moved out of Alabama, you moved to my house.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, it's so fun to hang out. Why don't we live together?
Yeah, no, that was one of the things. I mean, you just needed a spot. And so we were like, come up.
Yeah.
Make sure it's going to work out for you. And then that was awesome.
Yeah.
We lived, I don't know how long you even lived with me, Cole.
Several years, yeah. And then got to figure out the whole Tennessee thing from Alabama, and
absolutely
met all sorts of wheeling buddies. And then, you know, hell, I've even worked for you for a little bit through the agency. I worked for that marketing agency. And then
that's where you moved up.
Yeah.
As you took the job with that marketing agency, then we hired the agency because you were there.
Yeah. Well, they were like, hey, we want to do motorsports. So they're like, hey, reach out to because I had a ton of friends in the industry. Yeah. So I reached out to reached out to RCV Performance, and I was like, hey, this is what I'm doing. You guys want in,
Yeah, that's when Craig was real big with RCV. And Craig's back at RCV now, right?
Yep.
That's awesome.
He's managing something. He's just doing things.
Gosh, man, talk about a funny guy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's just all spiraled from going down to Fab Stock and taking pictures.
That's where it all spiraled out of control.
Now I'm just some guy that's the marketing director at an off-road axle company.
And it's pretty awesome. Like, talking about that, what all you guys got new? Like, I know we've been using your product since literally, I can't remember what the very first set of RCVs we put into a rig, but I know we've had a good long relationship of it.
Yeah, I think would it be BJ Allen's WFO? Would that be one of the first ones?
I know the first car I can just vividly remember was we put it in Doc's Ultra 4 car.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So that was a 9-inch TubeWorks housing with a strange third member in it. And then it had actually crane C's and 60 knuckles on it.
What year was that? Golly.
No, we're talking about that's 11.
11, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
11, somewhere in there.
Yeah, 10 was the last year I raced KOH by myself, drove, and then I co-drove with Doc in 11. No, in 11 I drove BJ Allen's Razor, and in 12 was the year we raced that car.
So that was...
So 11.
So I officially started with RCV in 14, 15.
And that makes sense because I moved to the shop. Yeah. I moved to the new shop in 12.
12.
Yeah, and I come down in 14.
And you come down, was it 2 years after? That's it.
Yeah.
But
it gets fuzzy with you when you come in. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at us now, 10 years later, at least.
I know.
Still doing the thing.
Doing the thing.
But
and a lot of the product, what I do love about RCV on one hand is a lot of that base product hasn't changed.
Yeah, so we developed the Big Bell, the Dana 60 stuff, like the rock bouncers and the Cable Hill beatdown, Coal Works. And,
absolutely. Bobby Tanner's.
Yeah. Plowboy. That was actually, I think, the one that made us develop the Big Bell. I think it was when the Plowboy buggy was just, because we tried to go 40 spline on Dana 60 Big Bell. Yeah. So you couldn't fit a 40 spline into the CV.
Well, that was the deal. And that's where I come up with that first fabricated knuckle. That was the predecessor to the Magnum.
For that, okay.
Remember, BJ Allen's had the very first set of fabricated knuckles?
Yeah.
Because
well, the demand was there, right?
Absolutely. We'd outrun
you guys were building, 600 horsepower was the average at that time. Absolutely. It wasn't the big one.
Just outgrew the small stuff.
Yeah. Well, then Stickies came along. So a 44 TSL was like ice skating on these rocks.
Dude, yeah. It was good watching. Good watching.
Came out, and that made a demand for a stronger axle and drivetrain.
And where I was at, I was like a 1480 size joint, whether it be a CV or a U joint, and a 35 spline axle shaft, no matter what you made it out of, had a hand-in-hand let of breakage or whatever, a strength about hand-in-hand.
Right.
1.5 inches and a 1480. And then we thought about it. We developed that knuckle off of taking we wanted to make sure we could run a Rockwell spindle and all kinds of other stuff. So when we did WFO, it was a 40 spline spindle that would fit a regular wheel hub, but it was y'all's Big Bell. It's the first time I had a Big Bell. Yeah, y'all custom made them.
That was a 40 spline stub shaft Big Bell, all one piece housing too. So previously we were doing stub shafts that would bolt in, or not bolt in, excuse me, they would clip in with a snapper.
And the 60 stuff, yeah.
And the 60 stuff. And then, the strength, not that was not a strong solution.
Absolutely.
But why not make it one piece? You know, this is a very specially high performance market. Yeah. So, let's do as strong as we possibly can. So that Big Bell has really been, I don't want to say flagship, but it's that's the base. If you're building a rock crawler, rock bouncer, rock racer, you're choosing a variation of the Big Bell now. Yeah. Because of guys like you pushing the limits and making us bigger stuff.
And we are, and also whenever axle problems really are aggravating for not only the racer, but the trail riding guy.
Yeah.
So I tell Jason's got a great saying. It's like, why work on your plate? Why work on your stuff in scenic places?
Wheel in scenic places and wrench on them.
Scenic places.
And that's, man, whenever I got great customers from all over, and whenever they leave from, Richard McIntosh is in Lafayette, Louisiana, and he leaves Louisiana, and he loves wheeling in Moab.
Yeah.
It's his favorite place to go wheel
But he
out
don't want to go
west.
out there and
But like, you can't have trouble. So to spend the extra money to go from a 60 knuckle to a big bell, it's money.
It is.
You're talking about some thousands of dollars. I mean, but
it's almost like maintenance free at that point.
I'd much rather spend that on the front side and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, like I've seen the guys pull out, like WFO a couple years ago. What was that? 2011, 2012 that was built?
Yeah.
He pulls some stuff out, sends me some pictures, and it is perfect. No bent splines, no nothing, no wear marks. Like it's
pretty wild.
Yeah,
like
and he let you drive it, so it should have some sort of damage.
Oh, that's something bad.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It was fine.
Yep.
So
I remember seeing the video of you and that on Cable Hill blowing the head.
Oh, I was ready to burn that thing to the ground.
I was still living in Virginia at the time, and I was like, I've got to go be a part of this. And like with you and the pictures you were touching on earlier, it's like any rig that got shot by Ricky B was like a thing. And I was like, someday I'm going to build a rig and I'm going to get Ricky to shoot it. And
we did.
When it actually happened, it was a career moment for me. Like,
I've got so many pictures of you that you don't even know about. That's like you looking through a camera.
Like over my shoulder or something.
I've got so many of you that it's not even funny that I just don't ever even show anybody. And they'll pop up sometimes.
I sometimes forget all about that section of my life. I mean, that was like 10 years that I did buggy features for Ricky B Photography.
Dude, the Ricky B Photography thing really, honest to God, when Cole Shirley started a real YouTube channel and Ricky B was shooting real featured rigs and all that, it was exciting times.
It was.
You waited for the walkout round video to come out, and then you waited for the other guy to post all the still photos.
I take it for granted, like hindsight looking back and all my marketing experience I've had in the last several years, looking back at that, what an opportunity that was, not only for me to be able to, every time somebody built a new buggy, they would call me in the Southeast.
Oh, yeah.
You know, whether it be you or Brian Cole or
everybody called.
You know, Jimmy Penner, LeBron.
I mean,
CSC Fab,
yeah.
Like, so,
partially committed, pulled you out of the
So
the
all
weeds
these,
here. Like
all
recently, I was excited.
Amazing builders would call me and like, hey, I want to do a feature shoot. And at the time, that was my business. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. But I didn't realize the marketing impact it would have. It sounds pompous on the industry, but
yes,
you know, I think it would reach people that people wouldn't otherwise see that rig. And then, you know, it was like I don't know. It was really cool looking back now to see people that reference it, because I'm 10 years older now and I haven't been doing it as much. I still reference it, and it makes me feel like I made a difference.
Oh, you did.
You really did. I think it helped pull the floor along.
It's super cool. I feel very fortunate to have that opportunity. It was just right place at right time, because it all spiraled from, I guess I was doing it before Crawl Magazine.
You were going down with Rich and just
it was my dad. We were just going four-wheeling, and I was taking pictures of the club rides.
Man, you were just what was the club? Hardline
Crawlers. Yeah, before that it was Chaos back in the day of Central Alabama Off-Road Society, but Hardline.
Oh man, no Chaos races.
Yeah, great.
You had crazy. No, the one that was there in northern Alabama.
Oh, that was Huntsville Rocket City Rock Crawlers.
Okay.
Yeah, where you yard sailed Mike George's with Tim Cameron.
I was a victim.
Vinny was driving. I think you were an instigator.
Vinny was driving.
Yeah, just taking the top of the line Blue Torch chassis at the time and just sending it straight to the moon.
Oh, son, he sent her to the moon. That rear end looked like a banana. It was terrible. But Mike George, it just laughed about it. Mike George,
man, how can you not? That's, you got Tim. You knew what you were getting into when you offered Tim Cameron that really your rig.
You let those two in a buggy. Period. Like you got to understand that you might not get it back in one.
It's me.
Yeah,
it's me.
Yeah, I loaned him my Razor once because I owed it to him. You know.
I think I'm still officially not allowed to drive anything you own at this point.
It's like you own
at Adventure Park. You let me drive. You're like, that's it.
Well, I don't remember. Obviously, I remember why I owed him one, but he just cashed it in at the most stressful time ever. We were at Bill Baird's Blowout Extravaganza Ultra 4 race, and he had Dave Cole, and it was like after the race, before the race. There was no stress. It was just like a hangout time. Yeah, and he came to me, smiling, kind of like
that. Look. I do.
Had that look.
I was cashing in my ticket.
Yeah, he was like, it's time. And he took that poor old Razor with Dave Cole for a hot lap on a short course track.
Oh, dude, we had a great time.
Yeah. Again, and I'm the guy that drives slow and easy, The only thing I'm hard on is I guess I'm hard in like I'm a rock crawler, right? So like I bind stuff up real bad or whatever. I don't jump 40 foot on the full throttle, but now I know my rig could.
My favorite Ricky B quote was that Windrock. We had just ran the bottom of like 28 or something. We get up the top and we're waiting and then waiting on the group to catch up. And you come tooling up and you get out and you shut your door and you're like, I am not about this 65 miles an hour trail.
Yeah, it's really harsh in my mellow, man.
I've got a picture in mind right now that I'm looking up and we're finding it put on here, and it's of a Cherokee. And I think you jumped one time in your life.
Look, I was told, oh my God, who was that gave me that great advice? I think
Randy Rod or something. I think
maybe it was like Brad Kellogg way back in the day. And this guy told me, and I'll still take it to my grave. He said, every vehicle has one good jump in it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Every vehicle has one good jump, and that's absolutely true.
It is.
Yeah, you might have to start replacing parts, but that one vehicle has one good jump in it, no matter what. So
Dave Cole swears, he's like, something to do about like what'll go more places than a rental car, and he's like nothing.
Yeah, no, it's commitment, but.
Absolutely.
All that abuse over the years taught me so much about what I do now, right? Yeah. Like, we were hard on stuff.
And that's, bringing it back to you, RCV, everything else. Like, you've been wheeling for so long. It's awesome to see you in a spot in the company being a marketing guy that really does have a base and you're smart. And you work on your own stuff, probably too much. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, I should drop it off at a shop. That's expensive.
So
shop guys.
Yeah, we can talk about shops. This guy's got the nicest shop ever. I love it.
Yeah, I don't want to work in it. It's too clean.
Yeah, it looks so good online, dude. I'm so proud of you. Yeah,
but you're right. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I really enjoy my job. It's something I get to do every day, knowing that I'm passionate about it.
Yeah,
and I get to travel the country, go to events. I'm here at PRI doing this for the brand. EJS, King of the Hammers, like I live and breathe that stuff. And now I get to do it for a living and deal with customers that are equally passionate about it.
You're dealing with you're not just dealing with customers. Let's be real. You deal with the top level people in the industry, whether it be the trail riding guys or the race car guys. Like, all the top guys run your stuff.
Yeah,
and that's from a rec wheeler to a professional.
It's super cool. Like sometimes
your Rolodex of phone has got to be.
I mean, I don't want to name drop too bad, but every once in a while, it's pretty cool to see a name that you've watched on TV growing up.
You really are a fanboy of them, and you're calling and working with the guy.
Yeah.
And that's really cool to be in that spot.
Yeah.
But also what that does is that teaches RCV all that stuff that you learn, how to make it live in racing or just hardcore wheeling and, hardcore trail riding. And back when we were hill killing and the guys that are out there in the portal buggies and stuff and doing the stuff, like all the trail hero stuff and everything else, like, that's not necessarily a sport. I know Trail Hero is, but like those guys that you're working with are so far above the general rec wheeler. And if you can make the stuff hold up there, it just trickles down to where like building a product for your normal wheeling guy is so easy at that point because you've done past that way back when.
Well, and being in this position and having these relationships, I mean, we are a company that has always listened. There's a problem and we provide a solution. We'll figure it out eventually. And maintaining those relationships with guys like you guys or the hardcore rock crawlers, the racers, the influencer crowd that's just hearing everybody give them their opinion and talk about it and listening to these problems and figuring it out and being involved, right? That's the benefit. And I'm very fortunate with this company. I can be involved. Yeah. I can figure out problems. We can find solutions. We got a great engineering team. So I come to them and I'm holding, this, hey guy, this doesn't work. How do we make this work?
How do we make this better?
How do we make this not happen again?
Yeah. They're so good at it too.
That's how innovation really comes about too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing so many new things, like all these new unit bearings that are coming out. Yeah. There's some unique racing one-way crazy stuff. And the Big Bell is so versatile. It can be in this rock bouncer. It can be in an Ultra 4 car.
Yep.
Like the Big Bell has won King of the Hammers several times in an IFS application.
Absolutely. It's so cool.
And it can also get beat down on a bounty hill.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm pretty neat to be a little bit a part of that. Because whenever I see those Big Bells, I knew like I was on the forefront of like talking to Craig about what size could we get away with, like, and it's almost felt like we were starting with a blank sheet of paper.
Yeah.
And it's like, what can we fit into the size we have now? That size just happens to be what the new Knuckle size is, because we kind of come up with that size.
Yeah, and we were able to work together. We're a small company that's able to work one-on-one with you guys and go back and forth in an email or a text message, and just and we still do that with everybody. We rate the racers come to us and they're like, "This is what we have. Can we make this work?" And
so I know about all of the hardcore off-road stuff. I know about all the side-by-side stuff. So buggies, Jeeps, trucks. What else does RCV do?
So Jeep is our primary market. Like the Jeep guy with 37s or 40s on his Wrangler. Like that is our number one customer, because that's the weakest part of a Jeep, and that's the most common vehicle that's wheeling.
Absolutely.
So, you know, the front U-joint brakes, you can swap in RCVs for way cheaper than a housing.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to put a Dana 60 in it or whatever.
Man, and go off that, because I know that there's something to do with the new Jeeps, and I'm not up to speed on it, but the way that I think it's a Dana 44, but it's got a big ring and pinion, and then you put your axle in it, you can run a pretty good sized tire, right?
Yeah, we warranty our JL and JT stuff to a 43.
Wow.
Now, I don't know that like you can hardcore wheel that, because other parts.
When you say hardcore wheel, your hardcore wheel's a different level of what most is.
Right. Yeah, no. Hardcore, like you know, a V8
You can go drive around Moab and climb all the stuff.
Absolutely.
And do all that. Like, we're talking about, like, we don't want to see you drive this thing underneath an undercut and stand
full
in the
throttle
gas.
East Coast or whatever. You know, like that's different. But like, yeah, you can go right now, go get you a Gladiator, put 40s on it, our axles, a 3-inch lift, and wheel every trail in Moab, every trail at, you know, a lot of these off-road parks.
Yeah.
You know, you're just not bounty hill climbing, but you don't want to do that with a $70,000 Jeep anyway.
Talking about that, let's you and I do it, because you've probably got better insight to it than anybody. And what I've told everybody, I was like, four-wheeling's changing. And I really think that four-wheeling's changing, because everything's changed in the fact of what a Jeep was and then how nice it is now. And everything in life has, like, houses are so much better than they were 30 years ago. You know, there's more, all kinds of different stuff. The new vehicle you go buy now, like you go buy a new car now.
Oh, it's space
it's a space shuttle. So like what we're building now are like, this thing's awesome, but literally it's got bypasses on it and a supercharger. A lot of this could have been the buggy you would have bought 10 years ago or whatnot. But like besides some of the parts, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a tube chassis car with not many niceties.
Yeah.
Where I'm seeing the guys I see the guys going to the full body Jeeps that we're building, heated seats.
Oh, air conditioning, vintage air, and
vintage air.
Limited model trucks. You get out of your limited model truck every day. You
gosh, man.
Jeep to wheel and
It has gotten so comfortable to go four wheeling. Like, I think it's pretty wild now.
Yeah, well, I think the advances of the Jeep, right? So then these customers have built their Jeep. They went out and bought their JL or Gladiator. They put 40s on it, and they're wheeling these pretty hard trails with all the amenities of, you know, the heated seats, the heated steering wheel, the air conditioning, the climate control, the, you know, air conditioned seats, like all this crazy stuff. And now the aftermarket's supporting it. It's crazy. You can get an air conditioned seat from PRP
now. Yeah, you can get a heated steering wheel from them now.
Yeah.
They just dropped that. Scott Bloom hit me yesterday and was like, what do you mean a heated steering wheel?
Yeah.
He sent me a link to it. He was just laughing at me. I was like, I guess it does need it.
Yeah.
But like, with that just drop, it's like, what's crazy is it's made it hard for us of being a builder of clunky, bare bones business vehicles and turning them into something that's really nice to wheel and ride.
You're building complete vehicles, not just specially race, you know, or rock bouncers anymore. It's not a rock bouncer anymore. It's now, it's much more. I mean, your chassis, you know, it's basically from here down, your Jeep stuff with the heated steering wheel and the
that's what's funny.
The same.
Yeah.
From up here, it's a luxurious, you know,
it's a nice car to drive. Yeah. So that's, I think four wheeling's changed a little bit in that. I think it's pretty cool though to watch it happen.
Yeah, I'm for it, because I'm kind of a softie when it comes to four wheeling now. You know, I've gotten older, so like I want to enjoy.
I'm not against it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'll throw the hard top, because I'm going to build a Jeep next, and I'm putting, you know, tons and 42s and you know, full hydro and real 4-link.
Okay.
But also it's going to have heated seats, factory heated seats, hard top.
Yeah.
You know, so it's going to be nice.
Yeah, you're a hard top guy or soft top guy?
I'm a hardtop guy.
Me and Jason talk about it all the time. Like, man, I do not like a soft top.
Man, it's just,
I do not. I
I
just
want nothing, or I want it to be nice, like I'm driving down the road.
Yeah.
the cool thing about a soft top is if you do turn over or whatever, it's $1,000.
Yeah.
And you can probably cobble it together for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Hardtop, you turn over.
I mean, I understand too. Like, you can get caught in the weather and you can put the soft top up
Yeah.
or let it down. But I like the hard top. I like the hard top for driving down the road and
I do too.
that's a me and Jason deal.
I have a hard top for my 4-door JK that I do all this work travel with.
Yeah.
And I have a soft top for it. And I would always take this hard top off, put the soft top on, go to Moab and all that. Because it's not hard wheeling in Moab, but it's probably all you want to do in a full bodied, nice Jeep.
Yeah. Glass break options out there.
Yeah, But this past year I got a little lazy and I left the hard top on and we ran Pritchett. And it does affect. There's a center of gravity. I mean, you put 200 pounds up high.
Really?
You got to. So like when you're building for it, I'm sure your spring rates are a little different, and you got to factor in the little details.
All that.
But boy, it's nice to turn on your defrost window and wheel in the wintertime or the rain and not worry about it.
No
but I'm a
doubt,
big old
no
softy
doubt.
now. I want big Bell RCVs and a defroster.
Yeah.
Sue me.
So with RCV, like, is there anything you can tell us, like, what's coming, what's being worked on, or do you got anything you can talk about? I know y'all are always working on
so
something.
we're always launching new platforms.
I know there's race teams out there that you can't talk about.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some cool IFS coming out.
Yes.
You're going to see a lot of new advances in the 4400.
Yeah.
And that type of vehicle, this upcoming hammers. But I mean, our platforms, we're actually making more changes internally. So we're like taking our existing product and making it better.
Yeah.
So like tolerances and fitments and the way the grease works and like all this. So we're like really fine tuning.
Just refining the process of that.
Yeah, because I mean it's good. It's a great product. There's nothing wrong with it, but anything can always be better.
Right now, do you guys cover in Jeep axles? What all year models do y'all cover?
Oh man, so we
like from right now back to when? You cover everything.
Whenever the CJ5 came out.
Wow.
Now. So now it's not on the website necessarily, but you can call us and get it, right? Yeah.
That's a massive thing in itself.
We have, our retail SKUs are something like 600 right now.
Wow.
Of course, that's with rebuild kits and all that.
Everything,
but, and we send out a price. So you have 600.
So then a Polaris, same deal. Like, do you go all the way back to the start of the Polaris race?
2000 and I mean, we discontinued, but we could still make it. We still have prints, right?
Okay,
so like if the opportunity presented itself and it was worth it, we would make whatever we have ever made before for a customer.
Well, let's say maybe not even a discontinued part. Like y'all have made, maybe it's discontinued now, axle shafts for every RZR out there.
Everything but the 800, the original 800.
The original 800.
So we didn't do that. So after that. But I mean, you can call right now. If you got a 2014 XP 1000, you can call right now, and it's on the shelf.
That's pretty awesome,
so,
dude.
We got a Pro Series and a Trail Series for that because we take care of the trail guy too. It's not all top of the line.
Yeah.
We have something that's easier to entry. For price point for guys too.
Absolutely.
You guys got into ball joints too. You're covering ball joints back
So, and that's, we did ball joints for the UTV. We've been doing it for 10 years or more. But we never pushed it because we had all we can handle with CVs. But we were like, and we also can add this to your cart. Type deal. But now, I mean, it's the best product that is on the market for that category. So we're super proud of our ball joint stuff. And we're going to expand that to Jeep and Dana 60 and stuff like that.
It's pretty awesome, too, because that ball joint, like, I know whenever we were talking, like, back in 2000, it's been more than 10 years because that RZR that I raced with BJ Allen's in 11, it had RCV ball joints in it, NRA on it. But, like, I remember talking to Craig about the pin and the heat treat and all that, and it was just like the guy knew exactly what to do because y'all had already been through it with everything else.
Yeah, so I mean, RCV is like almost 80 years old, and
so what does RCV stand for?
Rockford Constant Velocity.
Okay.
So an RCV is like a sub-component of Aircraft Gear Corporation. Aircraft Gear Corporation made aircraft parts, like 300M is aircraft grade.
Yeah.
So that's where it all started, and then over the years it trickled into the aftermarket. So like aftermarket ATV, aftermarket car. We did Rockford Driveline for many years. Like, I think the 80s was the high point for that.
Okay.
And, in my mind, I wasn't there obviously in the 80s, but I'm thinking Callahan Auto, like Tommy Boy, like that. I'm pretty sure that's what we were.
Pretty much what it was.
That was us. Yeah, we were highfalutin back then.
Yeah.
But then RCV came along, and that was developed in partnership with another guy. He came to us and was like, "Hey, this is a Toyota product and it breaks a lot.
Yeah.
Can you make this better?"
Wow.
You know, and we're like, "Yeah, we'll try." So yeah, we made it way better,
Yeah.
and then that expanded into Dana 60, and then that expanded into Jeep, and it just kind of snowballed from there. Yeah.
Like, you look what it's done for like the side by side industry. I can remember when having 30s was like a big deal, and now people are running 35s as a standard tire.
Yeah.
That's your standard wheeling tire with a side by side right now. Seems weird to me.
Yeah, 35s were big for my Jeep when I first started four wheeling.
Yeah.
Like I was like, ooh, 35s, you're a big dog. Like I had 33s.
We were doing stuff on 35s back in like the late 90s.
Yeah, and everything pushes. And now, I mean, you think of the average build now. The average build in a UTV is 35s, 37s sometimes.
Yep.
You know, these Kawasaki's are doing 37s on the regular.
Yeah.
So like it's wild, and you got to have the parts to support it. And you know, it's kind of tough being in UTV, Jeep, buggy, race car, Suzuki. You know,
man, I mean, honestly, it's almost like I can picturing how that all works in my mind right now, and just knowing what companies are. It's almost like you have three companies.
We
underneath one roof there.
We have our guys are so knowledgeable. Like to be able to answer the phone and not know if that phone call is going to be for a Jeep, a custom, a rock bouncer, a UTV.
Yes.
You know, a 1987 Samurai. Like it could be anything on the other end of that phone, and our guys handle it every time. So like we're getting there with a fine-tuned machine of
that's pretty awesome.
People to handle.
Like I haven't really thought about all that and like all the struggles of that, but that's massive.
It's wild, man. And
pretty broad spectrum of it.
And then they throw me out there, and I go to whatever event, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I can handle that. Yeah,
absolutely.
What do you got? Like, we got something for that."
Yeah.
So we're just here solving problems, man.
Well, man, what I've wanted to do with these interviews that we're doing right now is like I wanted to really kind of touch on the fact of the East Coast does not have a good trade show for four-wheeling that is like a main venue hall like that. Like the Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion is awesome, but it's not general four-wheeling.
Right.
It's Jeep
specific.
So like I love the PRI show and like how four-wheeling rigs are here. Like Morgan Clark's got a car that I cannot wait to check out, like the fab work on this thing here. I'm excited about cars that are here. Ross Pilgreen, I want to go check out that little side by side. Like I'm truly excited about the cars that are coming here. So like I really just hope that four-wheeling keeps coming here. I know y'all been coming here for how many years?
You know, I'm not exactly sure. I think
but a lot.
Yeah, a lot. You know, more than 5.
Okay.
So it's been a long time.
It's been worth y'all coming back and paying the dues and going through it.
And we're in the car market too, you know, a little bit. So like it's not crazy foreign for us at this show, even if it weren't for off-road. Yeah. But, you know, we're here, we're talking to pull truck guys, we're talking to monster truck guys, we're talking to you know, Pro 4 guys. You know, there's off-road racing is really growing, and it's been growing for years. Yeah. And recreational riding because of that is also growing.
Oh, it's awesome.
You know, so
we're in a really cool spot right now with what four-wheeling is doing and off-roading is doing. And I think it's pretty neat. I hope more people come out to the show, keep the show going. I know it feels like we're kind of back on an uptick with vendors and stuff this year. I know COVID messed a lot of things. It made it all weird. But the first years we were coming, you actually had a lot of booths in the other halls and stuff. And now they're actually getting back to that. I've walked into other little halls that's got the stuff. It's like, man, it's a little bit bigger this year than it was last year.
Yeah, we're slowly. I mean, the COVID thing was interesting because like it forced so many people to go and adventure on their own.
Yes.
So like, you know, COVID, you couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't do big public events, so they were going to adventure on their own. Yep. I think that's what grew off-roading so much. Man, especially like the overland world, and the side-by-sides, and the easy entry stuff.
I've 100% said as bad as all there was a lot of negative, but I'm gonna bet you money there was a lot of kids that would have never got out of the couch that got drug out into the woods for the first time that could turn into four-wheelers next 20 years.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think that there's some good that come out of that.
Yeah, the life of adventure is really just limitless. Yeah, you know, and vehicles like this can do a lot for you.
Absolutely.
So
yeah. Well, dude, it's great catching up. We're old friends. It's just like hanging out with old friends, old roommates. Hell.
Yeah, roommates. Yeah, and now we're gonna go do some hammer stuff together in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
a couple hopefully.
Hey,
If you-
don't cut my timeline.
yeah.
Jason's trying to get this car together and everything else. So yeah, I mean, you're going to be. We're trying to really crank out this social media thing. So hopefully
you guys
people are doing that.
You guys, this is cool. This interview, I mean, I like it. I like the
Yeah.
platform. I like the passionate enthusiasts talking to other passionate enthusiasts.
I do too. I really do. I've enjoyed it. We went around and done like some tool people, some really cool stuff, and just kind of out of the four-wheeling world, but it still pertains to it, if you say.
Yeah.
So yeah, but awesome, dude. Well, we're gonna wrap it up,
Enjoyed it.
and I will
Absolutely.
get it on with it and have a good show, man.
Yeah. Let's go four-wheeling.
Let's go do that. Yep. Cool. All right.